Welcome to Fast Cars, Fast Girls. We are your IndyCar experience. This is season 5, episode 4, and it's the race report for the GMR Grand Prix.
There was a little bit of a pause there.
I know, I was like, make sure I said that right.
Not the
Oh,
IndyCar Grand Prix.
it is the GMR Grand Prix. Oh, it was an
Oh,
exciting race weekend.
it was, it was a great weekend, capped off with really just a fantastic race. Like this is how the month of May should be kicked off. The GMR Grand Prix did
It
not disappoint.
really, yeah, if you are missing out on this race, like, get it together.
Stop it. Just stop missing out on it. You need to
It's
go.
like the best kept secret. And I know, like, you diehard Indy 500 fans, it just doesn't feel the same. You are correct. It doesn't feel the same as the 500, but that's okay because nothing else should feel the same as the 500. But
Yeah,
this just gets you jazzed and ready for some speed.
exactly. It is a completely different atmosphere and a completely different feeling. So it doesn't like compete with the 500 feelings. It's like a bonus.
It is. It is like a bonus, and it's a really great race to take your family to.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the huge crowds and all that business that you do at the 500. It's a great race to bring kids to or people that are new to IndyCar. So,
And this year a little different with the GA not really happening and there not being mounds, but when those mounds are open, that's the best place to like bring families and new race fans to.
and kiddos, they'll just roll down that hill all day long and wear themselves out.
It's
Then they'll go to
perfect.
bed early. Everybody wins.
Yep.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Oh, but yeah, good weekend. Quals, very
Yes.
interesting.
Well, I mean a little in practice, mostly Bourdais gave us a red in the first session,
Yep.
because it's J Foyt Racing. Um, and then in the second session, all of the AJ Foyt Racing drivers were using that runoff because I guess it was there. And they thought, why not? Right up turn one. And then Scott quit. Everybody who put money on Scott Dixon probably had minor heart attacks because he had to come in early because he had mechanical gremlins. But other than that, it was practices. But a few moments.
Yep, a few moments.
Yeah. Then quals.
Oh, Quals. Quals did not go the way that I think a lot of people thought they were going to go, myself included.
You know, um, it was maybe one of, if not the strangest Firestone Fast Six ever. And not that like the cars all blew up randomly, just like who was in there. It was very
Yeah,
weird mix of drivers.
it was. Yeah. Oh, but also, I mean, also well earned for the drivers who ended up there.
Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, but when round one and two were, I mean, it was knockout elimination. Obviously, Juan didn't advance because he interfered with somebody else's attempt. And then in round two, Will caused a red flag, which really didn't warrant a red
I
flag.
did not warrant a red flag. And I commiserate with his frustration.
You know, uh,
Yeah,
that
like
happened,
that.
and everybody was like, "What? Why is that a red flag?"
Yeah, like that's a red flag, but they don't even do a local yellow when they left Dalton Kellett in the middle of a fucking track in St.
Like
Petersburg.
at that
But
point, you
but
just
you're
are
gonna
wondering,
red
like,
flag.
what? Yeah, he was safe and in the grass.
Yeah,
Like,
out of the way
re-
of everybody.
really? So because he caused that red flag, he lost his two fastest laps, and he was not allowed to continue on.
Yep. An immediate you will not advance. So obviously he didn't even care about running anymore at that point. He was like, screw you guys, I'm going
I'm
home.
going home. Yeah, he was like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna just pack my shit up at this point."
Just gonna park it. Yeah, he he threw some equipment.
Yeah,
He was
a
a
little bit of a
little salty.
little
A
anger issue there.
little salty, which we were just talking prior to recording. I feel like we're due for a willpower double bird kind of
It's
explosion.
and like after the GMR, we went like right into 500 prep. That's stressful as hell. Like, this is the time. This is the time when it's going to happen.
It's either going to be this month or possibly Detroit or Road America. I feel like it'll happen. If not this month, then definitely June.
I just feel like it's going to happen right around now because of everything else. Like something wonky is just going to happen, and he'd be like, "That's it. That's the final straw," and lose it. And it's May, so there's always something.
Lose his shit. There's always May fuckery.
There's always May. Hell, we just finished first day of practice and we already had fuckery. So. Yep. So anyway, back to GMR though.
Oh, back to GMR. So our fast six ended up being. We'll just run down just from 6 to 1. Conor Daley starting 6th, which was awesome. In that great livery. Got tired of pricks.
Really thought he was running that in the 500. I'm a little sad he's not.
I'm sad he's not as well because that was fantastic. In 5th, Scott Mclaughlin, which good for him.
Great job for him.
Yeah. 4th, Alex Follot, excellent for him. 3rd, Jack Harvey, hell yeah, get it, Meyer Shank Racing. 2nd, Joseph Newgarden, I mean, expected.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably the least surprising.
Yeah. And then winning the pole, Romain Grosjean.
I mean, love it. I love it. It was fantastic. I think we've had 5 races. We've had maybe 3 first-time pole winners or something like that. So this is great. I was so happy for him. So very happy for him.
I was too. Especially because he was on my fantasy league. But
that doesn't hurt.
It does not hurt. But yeah, no, so excited for him. And I thought that he would do well with his F1 background on this particular course.
Well, yeah, because this has been an F1 course, and I swear he's probably raced on it since he's been in the F1 series for 10 years. Well, no, probably not. Oh, no. God, I'm old.
Yep,
I just did math, and I don't want to do math like that again.
Nope. 2005 was a long time ago. Yep, sure was.
Yep.
Oh. So rounding out the top 10, we did have Rinus VeeKay starting 7th, Herta in 8th, Ed Jones in 9th, which was a great showing for him, and then Simon Pagino in 10th.
Yeah.
So a lot of heavy hitters further back in the field. A lot.
Yeah. It was a uniquely stacked starting grid. It was very interesting.
It was, which kind of left it open to a little bit of anarchy, but I will say Grosjean killed the start. I mean,
he didn't slow. This was, F1 does the standing start. We actually tried it at this race, didn't work out.
If you want a good laugh and you're not aware of that, if you're newer to IndyCar, just go to YouTube and type in IndyCar standing start.
Yeah.
And just everybody's fine, so you can just laugh at the carnage. It is the most ridiculous. We found where our talent is not.
It honestly epitomizes the this is why we can't have nice things.
It really does.
If you want nothing more, just watch that. But Grosjean did not pause, hesitate, go slow, bunch up. They said green, and he was like, cool, and went and jumped. I mean, he didn't jump the start, but he really, really put it down, both the start and the unfortunate restart.
Yeah, he really did. And he was starting to get a nice lead, but then my boy Pagino tapped Conor Daley. A couple of cars went through the grass, and unfortunately, Conor got stuck out there.
That was strange. But yeah, Conor went, Pato went for a ride, Rossi went for a ride. I think there was another one, but I have watched it 4 different times, and I can't figure out what other car it was. I just don't know.
I mean, it was just, But hey, it wasn't the first row, and it didn't take out any cars.
Well, Conor.
Except Conor.
Yeah, I was like, well, technically yes, Conor. So, is our first, came in last, so, started
Yep.
6th, came in 25th.
Because of that livery.
I mean, they did get him out for a little bit, and then basically they were like, just kidding, we cannot fix this car.
Yep. They tried, though, which
They
is
did.
just unfortunate because that livery was amazing.
I know. I hope he runs it at other races.
I do, too.
I don't want it to be, I mean, I got the shirt, it's fine, but I don't want it to be a one-off livery.
Oh, no. It's too good. It's too good to waste as a one-off.
Yeah.
Next up, starting 23rd, finishing 24th, Jimmy Johnson.
No. I mean, here's the deal. Yeah, he waved somebody around him because he was too slow, but
he was attempting to, which is funny to me because he didn't realize that you can't do that on pit lane.
Yeah, it's also pit lane.
And you have a pit speed, there's a max speed that you can go, and also you're not allowed to try and if you get out in front of them, you get out in front of them, but you're not allowed to just try and pass people on pit lane. That's not how it works.
There's a whole thing about that, Jimmy. We've already done this. No.
But I do appreciate that he was like, all right, I know I'm slow. Go around. Yeah. I appreciate that he at least is aware of his skill level in IndyCar and of his surroundings.
But we just shouldn't have that because that's also very dangerous.
It is dangerous.
It's too dangerous. We shouldn't have somebody who's actively just waving other cars around him every race. You have a bad race, your car is bad for a race. I get it, it happens, but every race, maybe we should think about things.
Well, I couldn't be happier that he's not running ovals. I'll say that.
Lord, thank you.
Seriously, I couldn't handle him.
I couldn't handle him at the IMS for the 500. All right, yeah. I would sabotage a car. I don't know how, but I would.
You're creative. I believe in you.
I mean, I'd find a way.
You definitely would. You definitely would. Oh, sad story of the day. Starting third, finishing 20. Oh.
Okay, you can continue.
Starting third, finishing 23rd, and breaking our hearts. Jack.
Oh, Christ. He was up to second by the first lap.
I know.
And his team was stoked because they were coming over the radio. They're like, do whatever you have to do to get around Ray Hall, which I was like, I feel like that's a challenge. So, okay.
Yep.
And then, of course, I just love it when they talk and use weird terms when describing push to pass. A while back, they told Hinch to use sneaky push to pass. To pass. Still don't know what that means. But then they told Harvey to do efficient push to pass.
Interesting.
Is this the Great Depression? Does he need a coupon? What does efficient mean? Efficient is a very nondescript word.
I think that it means use the minimum amount necessary.
I feel that, but efficient is just not the word. If somebody said, hey, to me as a driver, use efficient push to pass, I'd be like, what does that mean? What do you mean? Is there a certain place you want me to use it? Are there certain driver? No. And then he got taken out by friendly fire. And there is no other way to describe that.
No.
It
was friendly fire, improper pit exit.
And the tire wasn't properly attached. Then they tried to attach it.
But didn't they not get the equipment out of the way?
That was Sato who ran over the equipment. So they dropped Harvey too early. And then when he tried to leave, they were like, whoa, tire's not attached. So then they attempted to attach it. But surprise, it wasn't, because within the first lap, they were like, hey, we don't read any air pressure on your tire. And he was basically like, yeah, it's not there. I mean, it was, but it wasn't.
It's flat.
Yep. So then he had to come back, get that fixed, and then serve a drive-through penalty. And you You just don't come back from 2 pit stops and then a drive-through. That's
I mean, the drive-through was just unnecessary at
it's
that
just
point. Like,
hateful.
it was just salt in the wound. It was hateful, and especially because it didn't penalize Sato, and God and everybody saw him run over that hose.
I mean, ran over that. Yeah, at that point, like there's
Like,
a
why
minute,
did you not penalize Sato?
or just be like, hey, yep, that was an improper release. You've already had to come back to the pits. Like, this is your second time. We're just gonna fine you. We're just gonna fine you. It's fine.
Yeah, like, it's cool. You know what? You have your penalty. You're not coming back from this.
Like this, you're already down. I'm not gonna kick you while you're down.
Yeah.
And then of course he came over the radio and was basically like, it's really important that I know what happened.
Oh,
Yeah. And the team was just like, there was a problem with the right rear. And of course I'm in the stands. I've never wanted to be able to break into radio more because I wanted to say, that's not an answer. You want a real answer. Yes. Get a real answer.
Oh, yeah.
There's a problem with
Like,
the right
it's
rear.
extremely important that I understand what happened there.
Problem with the right rear. No, we all saw that.
Yeah, no, he's talking about who went to tire school and Miss Lugnut Day. That's what he wants to know, okay?
He wants names.
Name.
And a
He wants
severed head
names.
that answers to that name.
Yes, addresses,
Oh,
family
gosh.
tree.
He wants a full root cause analysis, please and thank you.
Oh, yeah, Eminem.
Hmm.
Mortality, morbidity.
Yeah. Well, that's just not fun.
Oh.
Otherwise, he could have won, really. I feel like it would have been a good showdown. Podium, definitely. Maybe won. I don't know.
And that's where he got his first podium in IndyCar, and it just would have been beautiful.
Really would have.
For him to have his first win there, but it was not to be.
But alas, it did not happen.
It did not. The IMS is a fickle bitch, I'll tell you that.
Track is, oof.
She chooses her winners, and sometimes it makes no sense to the rest of us.
And sometimes she punishes people. We all know it.
We don't know why. We don't know why.
There's no reason.
Oh. Next up, starting 21st, finishing 22nd, Charlie Kimball. Which, I don't know if it's maybe because he's been out of a car for a little bit. But he usually is like mid-pack.
Yeah, well, it was his first race in a long time, so I'm chalking that up for both he and Juan, who started 25th and finished 21st. They just had to get their sea legs underneath them.
I hope so, because I was definitely expecting better things from Juan.
Well, spoiler alert, Juan did better at practice today for the Indy 100. Oh, I'm so sorry. Juan started 25th and finished 20 Juan.
Oh,
My
yes. Next up, finishing 24th, or starting 24th, finishing 20th,
Well,
Dalton Kellett.
We're just used to saying finishing 24.
Right?
Sorry. The jokes write themselves. I'm sorry, AJ Foyt Racing.
Oh, I found out today. I mentioned this in the text thread. The managing company for my apartments is one of Dalton Kellett's sponsors, and I just want to say, if that's why my rent went up, I am displeased.
Yeah, that is a bad investment.
I am displeased. Okay, that is not what I am paying you people for.
No, God no.
Kellett. The fuck.
What the hell?
Starting 20th, finishing 19th, Sebastian Bourdais.
Who was the only other person to get penalized for an improper pit exit, which I never saw it, so.
I didn't either, but apparently the officials didn't see Sato, so.
I mean,
must
be time for glasses. Everybody need to get their eyes checked, I guess.
Right? Starting 22nd, finishing 18th, James Hinchcliffe.
Yeah. It was
shit qualifying. unfortunately for him, and it just
It's
was
just,
meh. It was just a
yeah,
meh drive.
just man, he gained half those through attrition. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Starting
Um, yeah.
starting 13th, finished 17th. Felix Rosenquist. I'm gonna need him to turn that 7 car around.
Well, both he and then Pato finished only a couple of spots up. I think they just had bad cars. And I don't mean that as in like it just wasn't the setup wasn't
They didn't have the
wrong.
setup right.
They didn't have the setup right. It happens. They just didn't have the setup right.
Yeah.
Felix, baby, what are you doing?
Right? Like, come on, you're better than this.
Yeah.
We've
Uh,
seen we've seen you be better than this.
yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Starting 17th, finishing 16th, Takuma Sato, another pretty heavy hitter that we expected to see starting higher up and honestly finish higher up.
My only note for Sato is lap 13. Legit ran the fuck over his front air gun, but no penalty. That's it. That's all I wrote for Sato.
Oh, just saying. Enforce the rules across the board for everybody.
I'm just gonna record one of my rants about race control and just drop it in every time. Because now I'm just tired of saying it because it's true. Ain't nothing changing. Kyle did it.
I know. And me
That's
talking about it, I'm like the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
I know.
But
Yeah. So yeah, and then as aforementioned, Pato Award started 18th, finished 15th. So he did finish better, but just
through attrition.
yeah, and also he could have been better.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Coming off of a win in Texas. I
Yeah.
expect a little bit more from him.
Mom, that's a big win.
Yeah. Starting
Texas,
ninth,
baby.
right? Starting ninth, finishing 14th, Ed Jones.
Yeah. A solid start for Ed. I don't know what happened.
I mean, I think this whole next group of people just
Yeah, this whole group didn't because Colton Hurd is next. He started 8th, finished 13th, and they just had a bad car. I mean, he said it the whole time. The car was not set up for him. It was not handling right. So I think there's just this weird mid-pack of bad car setups.
Yeah. Because I think it was Herta that they asked him, like, how's the car? And he was like, terrible.
Terrible. Yeah. He was just like, meh.
Terrible. Like, hated it. Displeased. Oh.
Would not recommend. 0 stars.
0 out of 10 recommend.
If this were a Yelp review, it would be a negative.
Exactly. Then starting 19th but finishing 12th, Ryan Hunter-Wray.
Hey, he led 4 laps. There you go, Ryan.
Right?
Okay, Ryan.
And he didn't have a bad day today at practice either. On the oval.
No. I mean, it's only day 1, so I need everybody to back it up.
Well, yeah, but saying.
So far, yeah.
Starting 12th in the 12.
I know.
Finishing 11th, Will Power.
Yeah, it was just another part of Will Power's no good, awful, horrible weekend because he cooked his front brakes at one point, and Rossi was like, "Scoop, scoop, don't mind if I do," which made me happy.
Starting 15th, finishing 10th, Marcus Ericsson.
Hey, top 10 for Marcus. Way to go, buddy.
Yep, top 10 finish. So, all right.
All righty.
Made a few spots aside from attrition.
Yes.
Scotty D started 16th, if you can believe that, but finished 9th in the number 9.
Also a little wild to believe because at one point he was like all the way up there. I think I might have just yelled out loud, how is Dixon in like the top 5?
Right.
And then he even led laps, and I was like, I mean that was through like pit cycle, but like he was high enough to lead at one point.
Yeah.
Man is a wizard. If he were a woman, I would say we'd have to burn him at the stake, really.
Right.
He's a witch. It's fine. Cool.
He's a witch.
There's nothing wrong with it, but he is a witch.
It is like witchcraft.
It is like witchcraft.
Yeah. Oh, starting fifth, finishing eighth, Scott McLaughlin. Frankly, he just got outdriven.
He did. He really did.
And he drove a good race. He really did. But he just got outdriven.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad race for Scotty Mac. Did you notice that both Scotts are back to back? It was really made me chuckle. But yeah, it was a great race. Just honestly, not good enough.
Yeah.
That's it. It was great, just not good enough.
Yeah. As evidenced by next one up, starting 14th, finishing 7th, Alexander Rossi, who will pass on a track that they say you can't pass on, and will pass on lines they say you can't pass on. That man is a hard charger 7 days a week and twice on Sundays.
Twice on Sundays. Although
or Saturdays in this instance.
On this instance, I was a little nervous because he was having a little bit of issues with the engine, and I was like, "Hey, Hondas, this is May.
How about we don't?
Let's get our shit together." Because Herta also had a little bit of a wonky, and I was like, "No, no."
Well, you know, Harvey had to replace his engine today.
I know. It's 3 already. Okay, it's 3 strikes.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to take Sage to the track tomorrow.
I would like to speak to the head of Honda, please. It's fine. I drive one, and I used to work for them. Please to call me.
I'm just gonna walk around the garages with Sage.
Please make sure it's lit. Actually, in my mind, it's funnier if it's not lit and you just chuck them into different garages.
Oh no, in my mind, it's lit, and it's like a huge bunch. Like my hand can't even fit around it, and I'm just waving it.
That's also funny. Maybe more like a grenade, like you light it, throw it.
Like a Sage Molotov cocktail.
Oh, we can't throw lit things in the garages. Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, that's not allowed.
That's not allowed. My bad. We hadn't done it yet. It's fine, everyone.
But the thought of it is funny.
Yes.
Be like, it's fine. It's to cleanse the Hondas.
It's just Sage, guys. It's natural.
It's just Sage. They'll have hazmat team out there. I'll be arrested.
When you just say it's just Sage, they'll be like, fucking Karam? What?
Right. Be like, this isn't even his garage.
He doesn't even go here. Anyway.
Oh, too funny. Next up, starting 10th, finishing 6th, Simon Pagino.
Hey.
Hey. Although, you did Conor a little dirty.
A little bit dirty.
He didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it. I mean, when you watch it was a racing incident. It was turn 1 and road course Indy. Yeah. There's nowhere you can fucking go. Like, somebody's getting taken out.
It always happens.
Yeah. The sky is blue. The grass is green. Somebody's going to get taken out. Road course. Yeah. It's fine.
Happens every time. Starting 11th, finishing 5th, Graham Rahal, who has had some, pretty much every race he is placing well. I think that I'm going to have to agree with Jim on this. Well, partially with Jim, but I think this is going to be a season to watch Graham Rahal.
No, he honestly had a really great race, and even more so when you realize they were like trying something with his, like they were trying his pit stop strategy. So the yellow came out, they pitted under lap 2, and then they were like, come back on lap 3 and we will refill you. That's 2 pit stops and 2 laps. Obviously, they thought the yellow would last longer. I don't know. They thought it would help them make it like a 3-stop race, but it wasn't. But he still placed high, so he really did have a good run, have a good car, and could make up spots from pitting. So it wasn't. He was happy. I thought it was a great race for him, and that's hard for me to say sometimes.
I know. I agree. It was a great race for him. Starting in 2nd, finishing in 4th, and again, I'm going to say it, got outdriven.
Yeah.
Joseph Newgarden, which is not something that you will hear me say very often about Joseph Newgarden.
It's hard to say that, but it's true.
Yeah. Our podium busted their asses, and all 3 of them had a hell of a race.
Absolutely.
So starting in 4th, finishing in 3rd, Alex Palou,
who is, I think, came to prove that like his first win, not a fluke, he
Not
really
a
can
fluke.
drive. I mean,
Yep.
I look, I didn't make a bet about him and Scott because I was like, all right, whatever. Like, he really is a good driver. So
He really is.
we'll see.
He really is. Starting in first, finishing second, Romain Grosjean.
I mean, great starts. He got in a little hip check fight with Sato. Okay, he actively chose to get in a hip check fight with Sato.
He engaged.
Who? Yeah, he started it. Okay, who else would try that with Sato?
I mean, it has to be a Frenchman.
It has to be a Frenchman. Just as we talked about it in our mind, he just lit a little tiny French cigarette, and he's like, "All right, I will hit the Sato. It's fine.
I will check this out.
He will not see it coming. Oh, he saw it coming." And then Sato hit him back, and Grosjean was like, "Too bad. I'm still gonna play higher than you."
He hit me.
He hit me.
Oh, but yeah, no, I love that. And then starting seventh,
My goodness.
drove his way through the field,
Just a great race.
just beautifully. Finishing first, Rinus VK, first IndyCar win. And oh my gosh, so going back to the Jimmy Johnson thing, when Jimmy did move out of the way for Rahal, Rinus took that as a beautiful opportunity. He was like, "Oh, you're pulling over? Don't mind if I do. I'm just gonna slide right between the two of you."
It was Polo.
Oh, was it Polo? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure that he also
Fucking
passed.
fluid white cars.
Yeah, no, they looked the same, but it was beautiful. He just was like scroop right through, and I was like, "What? That's awesome!"
Right, just like, don't mind if I do.
And like, not only did he have a great race, but like his team had like picture perfect pit stops. Like he was in and out of the pits. They had a good strategy. They used, as I know we hate to say this, but they did use those pit stops to the advantage because he actually jumped out of Grosjean when Grosjean was in the pits. Like, it was beautiful.
Honestly,
Beautiful.
they did have perfect pit stops. Like, could not have been any better.
And so like by the time he was really starting to, so I listened to his radio for like the last half of the race. Towards the end, when they were like telling him stuff like, okay, do this, he would just respond like copy. I think a few times he was like copy, thank you, like very polite. But every time it would just get a little higher. And he said it. Like at one point, like I don't know who. I don't know his team, but they're like, nice job, keep going, nice and slow. And he was just like, copy. Plus his parents were there. Like, come on.
And they are the most, I mean, they're just as excited as he is, and I love it.
I don't know if you got it on the broadcast. So, they wheel the car over to the little car elevator, and so he's in the car, and they're trying to interview his parents. They've talked to his mom, or his dad, and they're trying to talk to his mom. And like, I think somebody told her, like, hey, he's going to be like up there. Like, she just took off running. And you can see Bree, who's Ed Carpenter's PR like guru and the power behind ECR, also take off running. And I was like, we've got a runner. Go, Mom.
We've got a runner.
Like, that's what it felt
like. All of a
sudden
Bree's like, oh shit.
Oh no, but it
Mrs.
was
VK, come back.
No. It was sweet. And his parents were there and they all were crying. And then I was like, is this what? And his parents are here because it's sweet. He's a good kid.
He is a good kid. Also, I'd like to say happy birthday to Bree. It is her birthday today, which when this airs, it'll be belated. So happy belated.
Happy belated. But yeah, I mean, he's a good kid. He drove a great race. He deserved the win,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, he earned every bit of that. So, and what a great place to have your first win.
Right. I mean, obviously everybody would love their first win at the 500, but you're still standing on the same podium.
Yep. And it's still the IMS, and it's still May, and the pagoda's still there. Like, it's a hell of a road course to win on.
It is. Definitely so. Very great. I mean, it was a good race. Besides Sato and Harvey, I mean, we were lucky enough to kind of sit up where we could see all of pit row, really. Everybody had great stops.
Yeah.
There was.
Except for Harvey.
Yeah, no, I said except for Sato and Harvey. Yeah. Not so good with those two. And apparently Bourdais, but I didn't see it. But it's a good race. There was a lot of action throughout. Somebody said, well, if there was a yellow a little bit in the middle, that would have helped them bunch up, but there was still a lot
of action.
Yeah. So
there was still lots of action.
And I think fifth race, no repeat winners, three first-time winners now, and no repeat pole winners. I'm not counting Texas.
I love it. Well, no.
Because it was just points.
Yeah.
Like, we're looking good going to the 500. Let's go.
Heck yeah, we are. It's exciting. Exciting business all around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a good year.
That's the GMR Grand Prix, my friends. It's going to be good.
That's it. Oh, feeling good going into the 500. Oh. So, well, before we wave the white flag on this, I'm just going to say I believe that you already wrote your blog, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so if you haven't read it yet, you can find it on our website, www.fastcarsfastgirls.com. Molly's blog is on there. You can also link to all of our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. And if you think we're funny here, we're pretty hilarious there. Especially in the month of May, we have a bit of a meme addiction. So get ready. Practice started today, and the memes will be nonstop. Once they start, much like us, they don't stop.
They just never stop, yeah.
Could stop, won't stop.
Won't stop.
So again, that's www.fastcarsfastgirls.com. And of course, if you're out at the racetrack anytime this month and you see us, come up and say hi. We're nice, mostly.
Yeah, we won't bite. It's cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say somebody
we won't bite first.
First, that's true. I mean, yeah. Somebody already screenshotted and cited the first sentence in my blog in a text argument. So, there's that. Nothing makes me happier.
I know that's true. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, do you have anything else to
add? No, I think I'm ready to wave checkered because for a white flag, hey man, practice started today. Let's go. It's May. It's been May.
Call into work, get out early, work through your lunch so you can get there by the end of the day for happy hour. Do what you got to do.
Or if you're working from home, put on the Peacock.
You know it.
Do
what you got to do.
Not at all what I did.
Get your butt to the track, or just put on Peacock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Bye.